Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 3:30 on the dot. Are there any additions to the agenda? Administrative changes to agenda item 5.1 have been made regarding the gross floor area. So item 5.1 with some changes. To the committee, does anybody have any declaration of pecuniary interest to note?
No.
Nope. Okay. So we need an adoption of the minutes. The motion before us is that the minutes of the November 19th, 2025 Committee of Adjustments meeting be adopted. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Frank and Jean. Oh, do I need to say? I know. Then I forget. Counselor Beers and
Okay.
Counselor Coles.
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay, that's carried. So now for current application, members of the public that wish to receive further notification on any of the applications being considered today, I ask that you please send an email to the deputy clerk at clerk@middlesexcenter.ca requesting further notification. Please be advised that comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record. If you have any questions on any of the applications being heard today, we ask that you direct those to the appropriate planner on file. Members of the public that have requested to speak will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address council and provide comments on the applications. In keeping with our procedural bylaw and our R-zone policy, I would also remind all of our meeting participants to use respectful language and uphold our values of cooperation, trust, and openness. Okay, item 5.1 is an application for minor variance A-26-2025 regarding 23826 Denfield Road. And Dan is the planner on file. If you'd like to present your information, please.
So through the chair to members of the committee. So the purpose and effect of this application for minor variance is to seek relief from the bylaw to permit a larger accessory building than is currently permitted within the existing provisions. So it is noted, as indicated by the chair, that an error did occur in the applicant's submission package and a wrong size of the building was quoted. However, the plans that were included in the circulation did accurately reflect the requested size as amended. So in total, the applicant is requesting a maximum size of 286 square meters, which is represented as 8% lot coverage, whereas the bylaw permits a maximum size of 60 square meters or 3% lot coverage, whichever is lesser. And the applicant's also seeking relief from the maximum height permission to 8.38 meters, whereas the bylaw permits a maximum height of 6 meters. So the effect of the variance is to permit a larger accessory structure, which is intended to be used for a detached garage / shop for personal use, as well as a recreational opportunities for the residents at the rear of the building. It also maintains an outdoor covered porch area, which does count towards lot coverage. So the property is located on the east side of Denfield Road in the hamlet of Denfield. It is municipally addressed 23826 Denfield Road. It's bordered by single detached residential dwellings to the north, south, and west, as well as agricultural lands to the east. It's also bisected by the Huron water supply line, the northeast section of the property. The applicant's proposed location for the accessory building is southwest of that easement, and I would just note it is entirely outside of that 30-meter easement. So as noted, the application was circulated in advance of today's meeting. We didn't receive any external comments noting any concerns for the application. The chief building official and fire chief did note that they didn't have any concerns. Director of Public Works did indicate some concern with respect to stormwater management on the property. And that was more so related to updating storm briefs that were created when this lot was created off of the existing parcel to the north. So staff did include a condition requiring that the owner undertake an update to the stormwater management brief to ensure that there is no conflict with placing an oversized building on site. So while the applicant's proposal is larger than initially anticipated, the drawings submitted, which were reviewed by the application during circulation, are accurate. The size of the structure is still subordinate to the principal dwelling, and its long, skinny nature of the building does make it appear subordinate on site as well. We did review the proposal against the Planning Act tests. So as indicated in the planning report, I did find that the requested size does meet the intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. It's considered an appropriate use of the lands, and it could be considered minor in nature. For these reasons, I am recommending approval of the amended application and recommendation, subject to the two conditions, that the building be located in the same general area, and that an updated stormwater management brief be provided prior to building permits. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Does the applicant or agent wish to speak? Is that you? You're here for any questions? Thank you. Okay. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Councillor Shipley?
Dan, just questioning here, when does this go beyond a minor variance? Like, we're looking at some building that's 4 times the size that we require, or we allow. I'm just wondering, like, this seems to be getting to the extreme end of pushing the extremes on this, I guess, is what I'm questioning. Is there where it goes from minor to something like a major change?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when we look at minor variances, the test isn't necessarily how much it's increasing based on a percentage. It's more so based on what the intended potential impact of a change would be to the zoning provision. So in this case, we don't really see any potential impact from a negative standpoint to the increase. I would also note to committee members, it was a long time ago now and it's been rescinded, but the intent of the municipality is to permit larger accessory structures. We do see a lot of variances when it comes to accessory buildings. At 8%, it would technically fall under that 10% mark point. So just for consideration of the committee, but in terms of your specific question, we'd look at the impact more so than a percentage change.
Oh. Oh my, sorry. Through the chair to Dan, probably Stephanie too. I know we're coming up with a ARU policy and that building's supposed to be, what's the word, subservient to that? Subordinate. So in a case like this, where it's basically the same size as the house down the road, can it become an AR unit? Or is it not going to meet the criteria because it's too large? I've just.
Yeah, so through the chair, that is an interesting question. So the size, when you're looking at the size of the house versus this accessory building in this case, the house is larger, quite a bit larger than the accessory building, given the footprint plus the garage plus the second story. So that would be taken into consideration. If there was a position that they wanted to say add an additional residential unit into an accessory building, there would be limitations to the size. So it could be a consideration for the future. And we've had these discussions between Stephanie, myself, Marion, and other planners. It may just be a portion of that accessory building that would be devoted to an additional residential unit, and a portion could be for a residential accessory use. So it's also possible in the future for them to come back and consider a variance to increase that size, but we don't know what that size is going to be at this particular point in time. It's still subject to council review and approval.
Anyone else?
No.
Oh,
Thank you, Counselor. Through you to Dan. So Dan, I just had 2 questions for you. So you mentioned about stormwater being maybe an impact. Can you just discuss if the height or the size would have any impact on the neighbors or any adjoining properties?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at impact, we're definitely looking at what's the potential for someone to use this structure. And one of the main concerns, that we hear within the municipality is people using these types of structures for businesses or business purposes, right? In this case, I have discussed with the applicant that is certainly not their intent to use it for business purposes. It's to be used for personal only. And it does create recreational space within the existing structure. And then in terms of height, it's more so an aesthetic perspective. So when you do increase the size of the building with the slopes of the roof, it just increases height as you go up. And that's part of how the bylaw interprets height here, specifically in Middlesex Center. It doesn't measure it from an average peak point. It measures it straight to the top to base rate. So it can limit height from an architectural perspective, but as you increase in height, steeper slopes don't necessarily impact neighbors as much as a flat wall straight across roof, right? So from a height perspective, we wouldn't don't perceive there to be a potential impact. It's more so just an architectural characteristic to match that peak design of the house.
Okay. Great. You actually answered both my questions there. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just had, oh my God.
Light on your chair. Thank you. Just a quick for clarification, first time I've heard the term stormwater brief versus stormwater management plan. Is that just a smaller version? Can you talk to that?
Yep, absolutely. So two differences. So the stormwater management plan is the actual physical plan that shows the grade marks and where the water flows. The brief is the design document that actually talks about the flows and how much pervious surface there would be and how much runoff is permitted within a site and how they would maintain it or hold it back on the property. So the brief is the physical document, the engineering document that talks about it. The plan is just the physical plan that shows the grade points.
Okay, thank you. Cut me off a little.
I didn't do that. Oh,
Let's get
thank you.
control.
Thank you, everybody. I have control.
Okay.
So I just had two comments. One that, I've mentioned this before as well. Some of this area is the porch, the covered porch. So, when you think about the 8%, a portion of that is the covered porch. So, and just as a side note comment about them turning it into an ARU one day, I had a conversation with Arnie in the past, not regarding this, but he said, there's different building code requirements, et cetera. And so there would be some work that would have to be done on that too, for that to ever happen somewhere. Okay, so if we have no more comments, are you done?
Is my light on?
Okay, if we're all done, we have a motion here that minor variance application A 2025 filed by Terrence Dadswell for relief from the comprehensive zoning bylaw in order to permit a maximum gross floor area of 286.32 square meters for all residential accessory buildings and a height of 8.38 meters for a property legally described as part of Lot 28, concession, London Concession 15, Part 6 to 8 on Reference Plan 33R 1772, known as 23826 Denfield Road, in the municipality of Middlesex Center, County of Middlesex, be granted, subject to the, pardon me, to the following conditions. Do I read those? Yes. Okay, that the accessory building be constructed in the same general location as shown in the applicant's sketch attached to this report, that the applicant provide an updated stormwater management report and confirm a 100% septic contingency area will exist on site. And for that, and further, that the reasoning for granting minor variance application A 26-2025 the request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's official plan. The Request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's comprehensive zoning bylaw. The request is minor in nature, and the request represents appropriate development on the subject property. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Coles, Councillor Arts, all in favor? And that is carried. All righty. And now we will move on to application.
Oh, do they want to leave? Or they want to sit through the?
Well, that's up to them. You don't have to stay. No,
Yes.
you're free to go.
You could.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. There you go. You never know what's going to happen here.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I think she was chomping at the bit there,
Oh.
but was confused.
Okay.
What, they're leaving?
Come on. Okay, 5.2 is an application for a minor variance A 27-2025 2441 Bear Creek Road. Dan Fitzgerald is the planner on this file. And Dan, if you'd like to make your presentation, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so through the chair, the purpose and effect of this application, minor variance, is to seek relief from the comprehensive zoning bylaw as it does relate to the maximum permitted size for a home occupation located within an attached garage. So in this case, the applicant is seeking permission to increase the maximum permissible size of a home occupation to 40.6% of total floor area, which is represented as 108 square meters. Whereas the bylaw permits the lesser of 25% of total floor area or 40 square meters. So the effect of this particular variance would be to permit the establishment of a new residential home occupation, which is for a furniture craftsman studio within that proposed attached garage. The subject lands are located in an agricultural area. They are bordered by agricultural lands on all sides. It consists of an existing single detached dwelling as well as the associated services. The applicant has also, just as a note, separately applied for a building permit to add the attached garage as an addition to the existing dwelling on site. So the property is designated agricultural in both the county's official plan and Middlesex Center's official plan, and it is zoned agricultural A1 zone. We have reviewed the requested variance against the Planning Act tests. The request for the increase in size of the home occupation is generally not anticipated to have negative impacts to adjacent parcels, simply due to the lack of existing neighboring development in this particular case. So additionally, due to the nature of the proposed home occupation, and that being a furniture studio, where the individual is actually building the furniture, more space is required to house the equipment as well as the materials within an enclosed structure to ensure that no noise, dust, or odors do occur on site. So for these reasons, staff are supportive of the requested increase and recommend approval of minor variance application A 27-2025 as it is considered to be consistent with the intent of the official plan, zoning bylaw, and appropriate use of the site, and considered minor in nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Does the agent or applicant wish to speak? No? Okay. Council, does anyone have anything they'd like to say? No? Okay. Well, in that case, then we have a motion that minor variance application A 27-2025 filed. Oh, sorry. I had something I wanted to say. Sorry. I gotta take off my other hat on. Just as we mentioned this before, this is a little bit different than the previous one. I guess this is for a home occupation, so the size being subordinate to the house doesn't apply necessarily because it's attached to the house. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So the motion before us is that minor variance application A 27-2025 filed by Matthew Truman for relief from the comprehensive zoning bylaw in order to permit an increase to the maximum permissible size for a home occupation to 40.6% of the total floor area for a property legally described as Part 1 of Lot 16, Concession 9, Part 1 of Reference Plan 33R 12365, known municipally as 24441 Bear Creek Road in the municipality of Middlesex Center, County of Middlesex, be granted, subject to the following conditions: that the business shall produce no exterior noise, dust, or odor, and that all waste or supplies for the business must be stored within the building, and that all signage proposed must comply with the limits of the zoning and sign bylaw. And further, that the reasons for granting minor variance application A27-2025, the request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's official plan. The request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's comprehensive zoning bylaw. The request is minor in nature, and the request represents appropriate development on the subject property. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Shipley? Councillor Beers? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. And next, item 5.3 is an application for minor variance A28-2025 for at 10522 Ilderton Road. And Dan is the planner for this one as well, if you'd like to present. Thank you.
Yeah, so through the chair, the purpose and effect of this application for a minor variance is to seek relief from the zoning bylaw to relate to the construction of an accessory building in the format of a detached garage in the west interior / rear yard. The applicant is seeking to increase the maximum lot coverage permitted for an accessory building to 100.3 square meters, which is represented as 4.4% lot coverage in this case. Whereas the bylaw permits the lesser of 110 square meters, lot coverage. The effect of the minor variance would be, again, to permit the establishment of a new residential accessory building in the format of a detached garage. So the subject lands are located in an agricultural area. It is bordered by forested lands to the north, single detached residence to the east and west, and agricultural lands to the south. The property is a designated agricultural area in Middlesex County's official plan and Middlesex Center's official plan, and it is zoned agricultural A1 zone in the comprehensive zoning bylaw. So as indicated in the application, the applicant is in the process of converting an existing detached structure to an attached structure against the existing residence by adding a breezeway between the two. The intent in the future is for this space to be used as part of the dwelling or as a separate attached dwelling unit, subject to future zoning permissions. So as the applicant is intending to convert the existing garage to part of the dwelling, he does intend to build a new detached structure west of the residence for the purposes of residential storage. So staff have reviewed the requested increase in size against the 4 tests of the Planning Act. An increase in size is not anticipated to cause adverse negative impacts to the neighboring lands. The proposal is considered to meet the intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw, and it is considered to be an appropriate use of the lands. So as a note, Ilderton Road is a county road. Should the applicant wish to maintain the existing access, they would be required to provide access internally through the site to the detached structure, as only one access is permitted off a county road. Alternatively, I'm not exactly sure if they are proposing access to this particular structure. I can't remember from our conversations. If they are, they would have to apply for a permit from the county to do so. For the reasons indicated in the planning report, I am recommending approval of minor variance A28, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Does the applicant wish to speak? Okay. Council, any, go ahead, Councillor Arts.
Through your Madam Mayor, to Dan. Yeah, Dan made the comments that if you're gonna do this detached structure, before you do the plans, figure out what the county will allow you to do for a laneway. So I just thought I'd say that one more time. Just because it's one of those things, you could have a brilliant idea and then all of a sudden say the county's gonna shake their head, and I don't want you to go through that experience, so.
Thank you, Counselor. My question was just to Dan through the chair. I'm sorry, the septic tank location. It's not clear to me on the picture there where it actually is. Thank you.
Yeah, so through the chair, I believe it is west of the house. Yeah. So in terms of the actual existing septic system, it is behind the existing dwelling in the detached structure. If they did need to upgrade that as part of a future building application, that would be subject to the building permit requirements as well as requirements in this case from the Conservation Authority, as the lands are regulated north of the dwelling.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
No, okay, so then we have a motion before us that minor variance application A 2025 filed by Steve and Sheila Case for relief from the comprehensive zoning bylaw in order to permit a maximum gross floor area of 100.3 square meters or 4.4% lot coverage for all residential accessory buildings for a property legally described as part of Lot 9, Concession 9 South, known municipally as 10522 Ilderton Road, Municipality of Middlesex Center, County of Middlesex, be granted. And further, that the reasons for granting minor variance application A 2025, the request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's official plan. The request complies with the general intent and purpose of Middlesex Center's comprehensive zoning bylaw. The request is minor in nature, and the request represents appropriate development on the subject property. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Coles, Councillor Arts, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, is other business? Is there any other business to note? No. Okay, so then that means that we are ready for adjournment, that the Committee of Adjustments for the Municipality of Middlesex Center adjourns the December 17th, 2025 meeting at 3:58. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Bears, Councillor Shipley. All in favor?
Oh, there's a slap.
That is carried. Thank you.